All right, obviously, Rob, the lead story is Zion's debut last night. I was impressed. I'm not going to lie. We talked about it last night, what we expected. I certainly didn't expect that. I talked to a scout yesterday or a person in the league, and he thought Zion would give him 15 points and 7 rebounds. Instead, he gave you 22 and 6 with 3 assists to throw in. I actually thought the executive I talked to was a little ambitious. But he went out there in 18 minutes, 22.7 rebounds, and I liked what I saw. I thought he showed great court vision. First pass early in the first quarter to Brandon Ingram was a nice feed to a cutting Ingram. I thought in the transition in the second half, he found Etuan Moore on a great pass for a layup. He showed the ability to grab the rebound and push the ball up court. And obviously the jump shot. I mean, that's the big takeaway. But I'm not going to make too much out of that because I don't expect – obviously he's not going to shoot that well. But I'll say this. If he can hit, say, 35% from three, then he is going to be, I believe, a superstar for the next 7 to 10 years as long as he's got that athleticism and stays healthy. Because if he can hit the three, you're going to have trouble, knowing what to give him. And I thought, Rob, he was a combination. Now, I've already called him a new age Charles Barkley. But I thought he looked like a combination of Draymond Green with the court vision, the ability to grab the rebound and push the ball up court like a guard and make plays, be a playmaker, and Larry Johnson, when Larry was Larry, before the back injury, where he was undersized, but he could post you up with his big body. He could finish around the rim. He was a quick leaper. And I think he's a Draymond Green that can average 24, 25 points a game, which makes you a star and maybe a superstar. So I was impressed. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, my vision and my thoughts are of him huffing and puffing on the bench in the first half. Yes, he finished strong. It was impressive for that, and that was really good to see him knock down those shots and finish the game strong. But you just wonder, like, if and it's not fair because he knocked them down, but had he missed those three-pointers, then you would look and you would go, everybody would be talking mostly about his size and this is his first game, conditioning. So we already know that. I don't expect the guy to come out and be fresh. One thing to practice is another thing to play in a game and build up win. But people did right away start talking about his size and his weight. But I don't know if that's fair.
We commented when we first saw him. The beginning of the game was on at the end of the show, and we said, wow.
No, he looked huge. But I'm sure nobody expected. I think when we talked, we asked, and I said maybe 15 points or something. I think that's where we were, around 15 or 17. And he wound up with 22. So if you're New Orleans or you're those executives or fans, you got to be thrilled. It's been a long time coming.
Right.
He stayed healthy in his first game. You know what I mean? Like, thank God, knock on wood. It wasn't like, oh, my God, he got hurt again.
Right.
And he finished – they lost, but he finished strong, giving them at least something to, like, look forward to as you move forward, because we already know Brandon Ingram's had that.
Because Anthony Davis,
he did. They lost everything that they had with Anthony Davis and all the mojo or momentum that they had after they made the playoffs and swept Portland. What was that, 2 years ago?
Yep.
Because last year they didn't make the playoffs, right?
Yep.
But anyway, so I think if you're a Pelican fan or New Orleans fan, you felt really good that you got to see your prize. And he showed out, especially at the end of the game, where it could have been exact opposite, where you're not in condition, you don't have your legs, and your shot is short or whatever, right? That normally is what happens.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like you said, he looked winded. And, you've covered the NBA long enough to know that the only way you get in shape for games is to play. And, you see guys that get hurt for 2 weeks, and they come back, and, they're winded initially. So for a guy that had never played an NBA game, never played a 48-minute basketball game, never played against the NBA competition in a real game, I thought it was understandable and, it was just unavoidable that he was going to be winded. in those 4-minute stints. But to me, that makes it a little bit more impressive that if he could do that, and again, I'm not saying he's going to do that every game, but if he could do that being winded, being out of shape, being rusty, and you can see he was rusty because he lost the ball several times off his dribble. So I just think that makes it even more impressive what he did and makes you look forward to even more. I'm glad you brought up, though, the wind, Rob, because how do you – and look, we're not doctors. We're not saying they didn't do the right thing or did do the right – like, we don't know. We just got to go with what the doctors are saying. But I do feel generally, Rob, like if the doctors get to a point – and they may already be there – where they're like, look, he's fine. I mean, I think he's there because they wouldn't have let him come back. At some point, and I don't know what it is. Is it 2 weeks from now, a month from now? Is it next season? I don't know. But at some point, you're going to have to be like, take the kid gloves off and say he's going to play. And he's going to play what he deserves, which is 35 minutes a night or whatever.
Right. The kid's
and
19 or 20.
You get
right.
hurt. Like at some point, right? You got to be like, it wasn't meant to be.
I just think that, and I get it, why early on here, like he already got hurt. He's been hurt 3 times in the last, 16, 18 months? What was it? Something like that, right?
Basically a year.
A year and a half, right?
A year and a half. Yeah.
So he's been hurt 3 times.
Less.
So they're like, we're not going to throw him out there and ask this guy to play 30 minutes, and then, God forbid, he's tired at the end, turns an ankle, or does something. You know what I mean? Like, because then they would be like, why are you pushing the kid? So I get the kid gloves. But you're right. At some point, at that age, they will just have to let him play. And if he winds up, it's just like the Derrick Rose thing. There's nothing you can do. You come out, you put the guy out there, and he got hurt a few times, and it's unfortunate, but you can't prevent injuries. You can't.
Yeah, I heard some guys, commentators on other shows talking about, like, they were highlighting how he was landing, like off a rebound, off a layup. He landed on 1 foot. That's 285 pounds on 1 foot. He's got to come down on both feet. You don't want him out there thinking, how am I going to land? Because a lot of the plays he made last night, like when Pirtle blocked this shot under the rim and he got the rebound quickly and went back up for a layup, that's an instinctive play. And if you're out there thinking about your feet, how you're going to land and all that, you're not going to be that same player.
You can't play that way. Because they always say don't overthink it. It's just natural. You go for the ball. You do what you've been doing. You don't start thinking about, especially how you're going to land every time you grab a rebound.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're 19 years old.
You'll wind up being hurt.
Right.
And that's not what you want to do. You just want to play naturally. And hopefully, I told you, I've seen guys shake the injury bug. And I always bring up Matthew Stafford, who was hurt his first couple of years playing quarterback. Yep. And all of a sudden, the guy's played the last 8 years, you know what I mean? Yep. No problem. So you can shake it sometimes, and then sometimes it doesn't work out, but you just got to go out and play.
I also thought, Rob, that he handled the spotlight well. I mean, we've seen him do that now for the past year and a half.
For a young kid, man, he is. The press conference the sound I heard from him was good. And I know whether it's, you don't really mean it or not, but I like when a guy says, other than the loss, I'm not like, I like what I did.
Some guys would have been like, hey, this was just what I dreamed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I think you should always think about that because that's why you play and you're trying to win. So you should never be satisfied with wins, even though for him, his first game in the NBA, it's big. But I like that he said that.
Yeah. No, I was impressed overall. And they play Sunday. And who did they play?
On national TV now.
Of course.
They were on national TV for like 100 games this year.
Right. The rest
even though there's only 82.
Sunday they have – who they playing, Rob G? Sunday. But it's on national TV. Boston,
Celtics.
I think. Yeah, Celtics, yeah.
That'll get some numbers.
That'll get big numbers, and it'll be good to see him in that game. All right, what did you guys think? Ben, you're on with Chris and Rob.
Hey, fellas. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Welcome to the
thank
show.
Thank you for calling.
Hey, I wanted to say, man, Zion showed up, drilling those 4 triples, making timely passes. If I was in New Orleans, I'd be excited about what's coming.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a guy that can score big points like without having the ball, which I like. He doesn't have to dominate the ball, which should make it easy for him to play with guys. So theoretically, he and Brandon Ingram should be able to play together. Ingram does need the ball, but Zion can get you he was able to coexist with R.J. Barrett and put up his 20 and 10 without having a ton of touches. He's so efficient, and that's always a good sign. I think that's a little bit of a throwback, too, in that's how players used to be back in the day. They didn't need to dominate the ball to score.
No doubt about it. All right, Ben.
It doesn't need to be ball dominant.
Right. I like that.
Yep, appreciate the phone call. Nick in New York, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Nick?
Hey, guys, I just want to say long-time listener and frequent caller.
Well, we appreciate that, Nick.
Thanks for the support.
No problem. I just want to say, building off that, guys, and I'm going to go a little bit different, but Zion, I feel like, wants to prove himself. So I think the Pelicans are in a good position that when Zion comes out, he wants to play as hard as he can. He's going to earn everything that he's got. I know that the weight is a little bit an issue for other people, but I think we should just let him play. Let him do what he wants. If he gets hurt, it happens. I mean, what are you going to do? But
right.
Yeah, but
wants
Nick,
to play and he wants to win.
Nick, I get that, but I think early on, I'm not saying the kid gloves have to come off at some point, but for the very beginning, that's why he's on a minutes restriction.
Right.
If you know what I'm saying, if he came out and they played him 40 minutes and he got hurt, they would be all over the organization. That's all I'm saying.
And that's just not smart either.
It's not. When a guy hasn't played and we're at the midway point of the season. Thanks, Nick.
Let's go to Robert in Georgia. Robert, you're on with Chris and Rob.
What's happening?
How you doing?
Great.
We're great, man. How are you?
Yeah, I just want to say, man, that I love Zion game. I love what type of player he is. A lot of people doubted him, said what he could and couldn't do. They said he couldn't shoot a three. I'm not going to say he's going to do 4-for-4 like he did, but he shot the ball well.
He clearly was working on it when he was injured, which is good.
Yeah,
right? It's a good sign.
And people say like he was comparing to Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin didn't get a jumper until later on. Same thing with same thing.
Can you order me some fries while you're at it?
Yeah, I got you. Same thing with Giannis. He didn't get a jump shot to his fourth year, and he already got one in his first game. So I think people should just give him his props and let him be.
All right. Let's go to Sean in Sacramento. Sean, you're on with Chris and Rob.
My uncle's from another mother, man. I'm glad y'all so successful, but it's so hard to get in on these phone calls nowadays, man.
Well, you were one of the originals, and you know what? We love, Sean, you to call in, but we also love to have new callers.
Right.
It just means that the show is growing. Exactly. We got to grow the family. So that's a good thing that you're telling us that it's hard to get in. If it was easy, that means it's the same 4 people calling.
Right.
Oh, yeah, and I'm all for more to the family, man. The whole D.C. area, ever since y'all opened it up to them, man, it's been great calls. So, man, I'm loving it. But my comment on last night is I think he's going to have to go on the Rob Parker wing diet because he was looking so tired so fast last night, man. I don't know what they're feeding him down there in the bayou, but
all that gumbo,
it was terrible.
Crawfish etouffee.
I think at one point during the game I saw him eat a poor boy during a timeout. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, Chris, you're going to have to give a number to your family down there. I see how they kept you nice and skinny, brother.
Man, shoot. I didn't live down there. I visit every now and then, pick up weight, and then come back and lose it. That's how I do. But
so you thought it was boring, Sean?
It was more than boring. I mean, he would come in for 4 minutes and then look like he just ran a marathon. They sit him down for another.
You mean
20,
early on, right?
Yeah.
Right.
What about the second half? Wasn't boring.
Yeah. What did you think about the fourth quarter when he was able to knock down those 4 threes?
I think it was a whole bunch of lucky. I mean, I'm not going to say it was a bad performance, but I'm real suspect whether or not he's going to have that jumper going all season. And besides all that, man, I just feel like they should just let him play, man.
You got to be careful, though.
You
got to be careful.
Early on, I think I would rather, considering we talked about it, he's been hurt 3 times in 16 or 18 months.
Right.
You got to be careful, Sean. You just can't rush him out there and ask him to play 40 minutes or something like that. I think they did the right thing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, Rob.
877-99 on Fox is the number.
877-996-6369. Let's go to Rodney in Ohio. Rodney, you're on with Chris and Rob.
Hey, what's happening, guys? Thank you for taking my call. I really like listening to your show, man. You make my day every day.
Thank you,
man. We appreciate it.
I really think it's much to do about nothing. I think that if you've looked at some of the best players over the years, teams that really care about their players develop their players. And I think what they're going to do is at some point they're going to develop that physical prowess that he's going to display as his career continues on. He's not going to be hurt all of his career. If they take care of him and train him to take advantage of having that weight and that strength, he's going to be hard to guard. He's going to be hard to contain. So I think he did really well considering he didn't get into a good rhythm first part of the game, and then at the end he was able to put some things together based on being able to get a grasp of the offense. So I think he's going to do well.
So you said much ado about nothing.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You mean the worries about his health?
No, about his weight. And,
okay.
And the reason why I say that is he's not a slouchy 285. He's built like a tight end, and so he's not a guy that's gonna end up eating himself out of the league.
Well, we don't know that yet. I mean, we don't know that yet.
Well, he didn't throughout college.
He looks to me like he's got baby fat that he could lose.
He's only 19 is right.
Right.
He's a baby. Yeah. He weighs 285 pounds. What'd they say? He was the fourth heaviest in the league? Right? He's the fourth heaviest.
Yeah, he came in as the third. Now he's the fourth heaviest.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of weight, but it doesn't mean that he can't play. JJ in Indiana, you're on The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, JJ?
Hey, guys. First time I've gotten in. You guys have a interesting show almost every night with great topics.
Well, we appreciate that, JJ.
It,
JJ, what does that stand for? Is that James Jr.?
John James.
John James. Okay.
There was a mountain of Johns in my family, and my mom caught me pulling on a tablecloth when I was 1, screamed John across the room, 20 guys turned around and yelled, "What?" And it was me, so I've been JJ ever since.
That's funny.
That's cool.
That's like, cool. What is it, the boxer, George Foreman, all his sons are named George.
Right.
He's got like 5 or 6
and
sons.
His daughters
and they're
are like Georgina.
Or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, go ahead,
well,
JJ.
Anyway, listening to some of the callers tonight, I just think this is like one of those nights. The kid, he's been on the bench for the whole year. His first time in, and these are one of these moments that I think fans are not stopping long enough to appreciate. To honestly say, hey, I don't know how many moments he's going to have. I don't know how many titles he's going to win. We don't know what he's going to do, but to speculate off one night if he's going to be great or he's going to be a Hall of Famer or he's going to be so-so, it's just to appreciate what he did. That's 17 points in 3 minutes. I mean, come on. I mean, how many guys have actually done that?
Right. Very few. I imagine somebody's done it, but that was incredible. Let's go to Jay in Oklahoma. Jay, you're on with The Odd Couple.
Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Doing great.
Man. How are you?
Good. I just wanted to call in about Zion. My thing is, I think everybody's getting up in arms about him, his weight, so on and so forth, because he's something we've never seen before. And that's my take on it. If you think we have seen, I would like to hear who you guys would compare him to outside of the Blake Griffins or I would even go back to Sean Kemp, but I just think he's something we've never seen before.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen a guy this heavy. I mean, Barkley was a little bit like
they were saying
Johnson,
a little bit. Yeah, they used Barkley early on,
big,
right? But I think he's obviously different from Barkley. Big though.
Yeah,
right.
As athletic as he was.
Well, and it's also though, Jay, because he's gotten hurt.
Right.
That's what I say. He's been hurt with knee injuries 3 times in the last year and a half.
Thanks for the call, Jay. Appreciate it.
What's happening, y'all? It's Chris Broussard.
I'm Rob Parker.
And we are
The Odd Couple. Check us out as often as you can on YouTube.
And always remember, I'm Oscar, and he's Felix.
Oh, man. Are you serious?